Hello, this is Professor Kim Nelson with the Joy Design Department of the Fashion Institute of Technology. I'm doing another installment to our series of videos for JD237 3D modeling. This is the Maurice ring project. The last video completed it, but this video I'm going to go in and I'm going to tweak some settings, tweak some of the effects that we have. So I'm going to borrow our image of the ring. Here we go. And I'm going to compare that to what I have. And one of the first things I notice is the jaggedness here, which I was not pleased with, and the straightness still of my center motif. So I'm going to play with these motifs a little bit. I'm just going to hide this, and I'm going to bring back my assembly. Remember, I saved it on a storage layer. Bring it back into the scene. Going to ungroup it. Going to put each one of these on their own layer. Oh, that layer was turned off. Okay. And this, of course, will allow me to address each piece individually. I'm going to lock the layers that I'm not working on so I don't select those pieces accidentally. Also, I am going to need extra layers, and I no longer need these maquette flutes, so I'll remove them. And I'm only going to need one of these, so I'll delete the other. Hold on. Okay, resuming. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to taper this. Either using a cage editing box or a tapering command, it doesn't really matter which method I use. The challenge I have to face is that I need a C-plane that will actually function for what I want to do here. And so I want a C-plane that actually lines up to my piece like this. And that'll allow me to do all the transforms and everything that I would like to do with this. The closest to perfection I'm going to find, if it existed, was going to be the center line through here. I don't see that. I must have thrown it away. So I will reconstitute it. I'm going to get a section command. Pull straight across. Front C-plane. Curve tools, straight line, mid project, here to here, both sides. Slide this down itself using near, and extrude. I can now delete that curve, delete all of these curves, and set C-plane to this, and then hide that surface. Okay, well that's kind of nice, but it's not what I need. It's the exact opposite of what I need. I need a C-plane perpendicular to this, and that actually exists. Don't know which button it is here. Set C-plane vertical. There we go. It wants to know where you want the origin. X direction. We can choose either way to be our X direction. And there you go. That gives me a C-plane oriented the way I want it. With that C-plane, I can now either use a regular tapering command, or I can use a cage edit. Both would be fine. Taper is going to be faster. I need snaps to taper. So I need that curve back that I just threw away. Section, using grid snap. There I go. Okay. I need to know what the widest point on this is. And that's going to be a little bit tricky to establish. So you know what? Instead of that, I am just going to draw a straight line from 0, both sides, no grid snap, and make it almost the same width as this is. Okay? I'm not going to get it perfect, but hopefully it'll be at least as wide, if not a little wider, which is what I need. Okay, turn back on my shank for reference. Transform taper. The beginning of the taper axis is always the place you do not want to change. I do not want to change the width here. The end is the direction you do want it to change. I want flat to equal yes and infinite to equal yes. That way it'll only taper in one direction. I'm going to hold my shift key down so I have an ortho snap going. And in theory, that should have played nicely. Let's try again. Turn the shank off for now. Taper, starting, ending, flat yes, infinite yes. And for some reason, there we go. I had to move around a little bit to find a place where I could see my mouse to see what I'm looking for. Okay, so it's not misfunctioning, it's just I'm picking too far out away from the object when I begin. So this time I'm going to select in really tight to my object. That way, hopefully, yeah. Got to make sure you hold down Shift key. It would be really good to have the ring in the viewport. Okay, I'm going to try that and take a look. It's kind of eating into this a little bit. Let's see how the center looks. But I do think that that is much truer to Maurice's original. Although it looks like it may have changed the distribution. That center flute looks oddly wider than it did. Okay, so that is not going to give me what I want. So, cage edit. Cage edit. Bounding box. This time we do not want to select world. We created this C-plane specifically so we could have control. C-plane. X are points in this direction. 4 is plenty. Actually, I want 5. I want an odd number. So I have a center line. Y, 4 is fine, and 4 is fine in Z. Okay. Going to grab those. Actually, I'm going to grab everything but the top row. Gumball. Grab the scale handle at the end. And push it in a little bit. Now, hopefully that did not change the overall width at the top. Deselect this row of points. Bring up my reference of the shank. Scale handle. Take a look at it. And do the last row. Yes, that seems to have given me less distortion. I like that better. So there I achieved the same basic results using a cage edit box. Okay, back to top C plane, mirror this over. The next thing I want to change is I wanted to get more of that bulge here in the front. Okay, I want to check and make sure this didn't get narrower all over overall. Let's take a look at. Oh, I thought I hid the original. Did I store it? No. Okay. Well, it's not going to matter because I'm going to be toying with this relationship anyway. Yeah, I have the same option here. I can either cage edit this and taper those inward, or I can do a non-uniform scale from the front. If I scale this piece this way, this curve is going to become truncated and shorter. And I have the material to do it, so I'm going to try that. I can just use the gumball box. It's already in position. I want to make sure that I don't do it to the point where I come undone from the other pieces, where it becomes too short. There. Now, that gives me, I feel like, a better feel. So I'm going to call this my revised ring here. I'm going to do my solid union. Before I do that, I will select my 3 pieces and copy them out of Rhino, group them together, put them in storage. Actually, they're going to be right on top of the last ones in storage, so I'm going to move them back using grid snap, just so they're easier to find on the storage layer. Paste them back in, solid union, get my ring bore, and extrude straight, both sides solid, and solid difference. Boolean difference. And I think that gives me a nicer version of that ring. Okay? And if not, it showed you how to do some C-plane work and some transforms to tweak or adjust your model to get it closer to what you want. Okay? I wish I would have kept the original in here so that I could show it to you. So what I will do is be bold, undo, copy this to clipboard, and redo. And paste. And now we can compare the two. You can see I did get a better swing here in the front, and a nicer relationship with those flutes. That's it. Thanks for watching.